Great news everyone, looks like Fable is fully playable. Let's look into this. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I would like to talk about Fable reboot really, because I'm sure you know that this is a full reboot of the franchise, a total new game. But hey, we've got some cool information finally about this game, about state of development, because this game has been in development for a while now. I remember first reports about this game from back 2017, 2018. So this game must have been in development for at least like 5 years at least. And yeah, but you know, they were also building their studio, so I guess maybe that's why it's taking them so long, and I'll talk about it in a minute. But the good news is that this game is actually in playable state now. So that's obviously very good news, especially after the most recent reports, which were debunked, of course, that Fable would be switching to Unreal Engine 5. So obviously that was not true. They are still using their in-house game engine, the same that is being used for Forza games, obviously changed and modified to fit the action RPG kind of game, right? And so this information is courtesy of twistedvoxel.com, and they say that according to their LinkedIn profile of Playground Games producer VJ Gill, the studio's forthcoming reboot of Fable is now in playable state. In his profile, Gill states that he is preparing and facilitating regular game playthroughs of the game alongside build reviews with key stakeholders, right? So he's actually one of those guys that I guess is making sure that they show the properly working games for people like Phil Spencer, for example, or some other investors, if you know what I mean, right? So obviously that's very good news that looks like that they've got at least something to show. Now, I said at the very beginning that this game has been in development since like 2017 or something, but you guys need to remember that this is a totally new studio. So when they started back in 2017, they haven't had even a proper studio yet, because Playground Games has been focusing back then on Forza Horizon games, right? And they were given that new project. So at first that was like a small team of people working alongside Forza games. So small team of people in the same building, actually making some preparations for Fable games, if you know what I mean. And that's when they actually started hiring people for that project. So people that know how to build RPGs and stuff, because here's a big misconception when it comes to this particular game and Playground Games team that is working on Fable, is that, how are they going to make that game if all they did in the past were racing games? Yeah, that's cool, but this is the same studio, but different team of people. Basically, they've been hiring for the last couple of years people that did work on all kinds of action RPG games, right? Some people from the original team apparently are in this team, so that's actually very good news, right? So I'm talking about people that used to be Lionhead, I think that was the name of the studio that used to work on the original Fable games. And even though, yes, this is a Fable reboot, a totally new game, but the feel for the game, the graphics and the humor and Britishness, I don't even know if that's actually a proper word, about this game is still going to be there, right? Even this particular trailer you're actually watching right now is has this kind of kind of sense of humor, if you know what I mean, and this game is going to be like that. I'm not talking about graphics because this is CGI, but I'm sure that Fable will look beautiful because Playground actually knows how to make pretty open world worlds, if you know what I mean. So when it comes to graphics, there's no doubt that the game will look pretty, that's for sure. Just look at Forza Horizon, for example. And I know that this is a racing game, but the whole open world is, you know, that was not a typical Forza game from like turn 10, right? But anyway, I digress. So they started hiring back in 2018, 2017, 2018. And I remember one of the main people at a studio did say that at first that was a very small team, and they really wanted them to work alongside the Forza Horizon team, not to not to learn how to make games, of course, because they are making totally different game, but to learn the internal processes, right? How, when it comes to like, procedures and that kind of stuff, not game development per se. And when they grew, they actually built them a new studio, they moved them to a separate building and in the same city, because they are, I think they are based in Leamington Spa in UK. And by the way, very nice city. I've been very nice town. I've been there a couple of times when I used to live in UK for 5 years. So I visited Leamington Spa many times. Shame that I didn't know that Playground Games was there back then. But anyway, so they are all in Leamington Spa, but they are separate teams in separate buildings, right? So you've got this main team still working on Forza games, and you've got the other team in a separate building working and focusing only on Fable, and they've been hiring RPG people. That's why it's taking so long, because at first I was like, there must be a lot of people working on that project. No, that was not the case. They were building the team gradually, and that's why it's taking so long to actually build that game. If they had like 300, 500 people from day one, they would probably finish that game by now. But I guess it hurts a little bit that you have to wait, that we have to, as gamers, we have to wait for these games for so long. But at the same time, look at what's going on with 343. If you grew too big and there's no proper management, right, and no proper working culture, everything falls apart, right? And I think they wanted to avoid it, and that's why they grew the RPG team, the Fable team, like gradually. And now they are a pretty big team. I don't know how many exactly, because they kind of they are, when it comes to numbers of Playground Games numbers, they are mixed with Forza Horizon people, but yeah, they've got a bigger team, much bigger team than when they started this project. So I have no idea when this game is going to come out. I would hope in next 2 years. I really do hope so. And that's the rumors, 2025 or something like that. But I'm just guessing, right? I don't know, really. This is just me guessing. But hopefully, whenever they will launch this game, it's going to be good. Playground Games, they are a very good studio, right? And I know that they've been working on Forza games, but their management, I guess, what I'm trying to say, they know how to manage people, they know how to manage these teams, and I'm sure that they will find proper people to work on Fable 2, and that game will be good as well. So anyway, guys, that's the news. Fable, finally playable. Not necessarily from start to finish, but at least it's working, so that's very good news. Looking forward for some gameplay, and looking forward to that game. Actually, I like RPG games and I like Fable. So guys, that's the video. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Thanks for support. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care.